Hello, my people. Today the talk is about that clash that tests nerves, patience, and hope the match against Everton. And I'll start by saying something that may hurt those who only look at the cold table on the other side. There is a team that went from chaos to the right path in very little time, from a scenario of almost relegation. Financial punishments looming and an endless buyers saga the club reorganized. Its backstage inherited the advantage of a stadium. Already underway, chose a manager with identity and made a smart transfer window. The result, they stopped being a candidate for despair and started breathing ambition. Everton's great asset today is the word competitive. They have entered a phase where they are rarely out of the game. Do they lose? Yes, but they lose fighting.
Do they win?
Usually because they make the opponent's life hell in terms of duels cover and compactness. It's a team with the face of the English League, plenty of height and defense, a back four with center backs strong in aerial battles, constant protection of the box, and a pragmatic reading of transitions. They break rhythm, push to the side, win second balls, and bring the game back to the final third.
Is it always pretty?
Not always. Does it need to be? Not always. There's more. The absence of European football becomes an advantage. With half of their rivals splitting energy between travels, deadly Thursdays, and forced rotations, Everton enjoy full weeks correction training, repetition of movements, and opponent study. It's that detail that added up makes a difference in April. Lighter legs, more automatized patterns, and fewer muscle injuries. If the league redistributes European spots down to 8th place, it's not absurd to see the Blues fighting for the top half and dreaming big. Sure, they need luck, they need to keep their starters healthy, they need to win tight games. But the path is drawn. In the market, the package made sense. A creative midfielder who has found joy on the pitch again and brings balance on the left, a workhorse who arrives in the box, a winger adaptable to both sides, who accelerates with the ball at his feet. The new striker still oscillates in minutes and impact, but it's the start of a process, a player being evaluated, coming off the bench feeling the league. In goal, consistency from someone who decides points on big nights. In defense, reliability. Where is the doubt? At fullback, especially on the right, if there's space there, it can be exploited. Now there's been recent anger among Everton's own fans, the League Cup. The manager rotated too much, the team suffered in the first half, reacted late, and it felt like a chance at silverware slipped away. I understand the frustration. At the same time, there may have been a cold reasoning behind the decision. Perhaps finishing 7th is more viable than surviving knockouts against Arsenal City or Newcastle in quarters and semis. Those who only look at the present call it conservatism. Those who look at the future call it strategy. In the end, the verdict will come at the pub table after the final round. If a European spot comes, rotation was right. If not, it was wrong. That's football. That said, let's look at our side. The atmosphere is heavy. The dressing room shows signs of emotional fatigue, and the manager's words no longer light up the team as they should. At every defensive set piece, the fans hold their breath because the repetition of the same flaws is glaring. Marking switched off at the far post, lost tracking and blocks, mistimed jumps. In goal, there is no undisputed starter. Between experience and agility, no one has claimed the shirt. In defense, one starter imposes himself with personality, but his partner is still a question mark. And curiously, even with so many goals conceded, some defenders are performing well individually. That reveals something else. The problem is systemic, not just about names. At fullback, some good news. The recent starter has held onto the shirt with strong performances. If the veteran rival returns, let him wait in line. Meritocracy. In midfield, the message is direct, no more comfort. The trio that best shapes an aggressive central corridor combines a simple, attentive first pass, a more dynamic midfielder to bite and break forward, and our creative brain who needs the freedom to receive between the lines and accelerate connections with the wingers. No more stacking set-piece specialists who reduce pressing on the ball and turn every defensive transition into a fire. In attack, my bet is clear, a young striker hungry with legs to attack short spaces and courage to shoot without asking permission. Against a defense that likes body-to-body duels, offering only a back-to-goal target is a gift. What the big defenders dislike is a forward who spins in behind, makes diagonal runs, and forces them to run towards their own goal. That profile changes the conversation, drags the backline backwards, and opens corridors for the midfielder to arrive in the box. And please, a balanced bench. It makes no sense to bring two identical strikers if one won't come on. To sum up this first part, Everton are on an upward path, solid, competitive with strong set pieces and vulnerable fullbacks on our side. It's urgent to adjust. Defensive organization, define a clear plan for midfield and bet on mobility up front. The match demands tactical courage and simple execution. Without it, the night becomes long. Before we move on, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support keeps the Claret and Blue family united and helps make West Ham stronger every single day. Let's get to the point: how to step onto the pitch and turn tension into performance. The idea here is not to reinvent the wheel, it's about aligning clear roles, cutting repeated mistakes, and attacking where Everton tend to give way. First, the structure. A well-defined back four, a center-back pairing with a leader commanding the box, and a partner chosen for covering speed, not height. At full-back, we keep the recent starter on the right side, who added aggression and corridor reading on the left, the most consistent in the squad, the one who delivers clean carrying and low crosses. In goal simplicity, whoever communicates most with the line pushes the block forward and holds the first aerial ball. Confidence comes from command, not from 1,000 miraculous saves. In midfield, the key is a complementary trio. A first man shielding in front of the box and playing short passes quickly. A midfielder with strong legs to press switch play and arrive at the edge of the box. And the creative brain free to receive between the lines, turn to his stronger side and release the winger on that flank. No stacking of set-piece specialists who slow down ball pressure. We need intensity, not a catalog. Up-front mobility over physical duels. A young, flexible striker attacking the diagonal runs between center-back and full-back, not glued to a back-to-goal pivot role. On one side, a winger who accelerates receiving to feet and threatens to cut inside. On the other, a winger who stretches the line by attacking space, even if he touches the ball less. The goal is simple: drag Everton's defense backwards and open the central lane for our midfielder to arrive in the box. Now, defensive set pieces are Achilles' heel. 3 urgent adjustments. First, hybrid marking. 2 or 3 zonal guards all at the near post and middle of the 6-yard box with man marking on their aerial targets. Second, a back post watcher with body open to the ball and hand on the opponent, never losing visual contact. Third, goalkeeper, 1 step ahead of the line before the delivery, shouting block references and stepping forward first, never back. Repeated in training until it becomes reflex. 2-step claim, push to the opposite corner, never into the middle. For wide free kicks, a short wall only to delay the strike and align the defense. The line steps up as the taker gestures. The rule is to clear the near post and compete for the far one with body advantage. Once the duel is over, reset the line immediately, because the second ball kills more often than the first, with the ball triggers to hurt. First, trigger long switch when Everton overshift. 2 touches in the short corridor, then switch to the weak side. The receiver doesn't control backwards, he pushes the ball forward and attacks the edge of the box. Second, trigger underlap from our full-back inside when the winger drags the marker wide. That off-ball run creates the pocket for a short 1-2 with the midfielder. Third, trigger low pass between center-back and full-back, not high crosses. That driven ball, half-shot, half-pass, cuts across the box and rewards those attacking space. Offensive transition, 3 steps. Regain, first a simple forward pass. Second, accelerate down the freest lane. Third, decide in 3 touches, shoot low cross or reset to the creative midfielder. No carrying until you lose it. Defensive transition, first, tactical foul in the center circle, clean and smart to allow the block to recover. And note, whoever loses the ball comes back through the middle, not the wing. The last-ditch tackle on the byline almost never saves, closing the funnel early does. Squad management and balanced bench. 1 striker on the bench is enough. Complement with a winger who changes pace, a midfielder to control when the game needs calming, and a full-back who enters at full intensity to hold their strong side. No overload of identical pieces. Substitutions with purpose. Half an hour left for fresh legs in midfield, 20 minutes left for speed on the wings, 10 minutes left for a fresh center-back to defend aerial balls. Minute plan. First, 15 coordinated pressing only up to halfway, compact shape trap play on their weak side, and test the long switch early. From minute 16 to halftime, alternate high pressing on goal kicks with long balls to the winger stretching the line. After the break, 10 minutes of maximum intensity to force errors in build-up and win attacking set pieces. Final third, manage emotions, run down the clock when needed, but keep searching for the low ball behind the back line. No wasting every move on predictable high crosses. Why does this work against today's Everton? Because they love aerial duels and hate chasing back to their own goal. Because their fullbacks switch off at times and can be attacked inside by our fullbacks' runs. Because without European matches piling up, they arrive physically fresh, so we need to make them run backwards, not forwards. I close this part with a simple truth: organization reduces bad luck. If we fix set pieces and have the courage to use mobility up front, the game changes color. If we repeat the same flaws, the script repeats. Before we carry on, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. This is really important because it strengthens the Claret and Blue family, making our West Ham bigger and stronger every day. Now let's imagine the match scenarios and how to react to each of them. Because football is not a fixed script, it is written in real time, and whoever fails to adjust sinks. Scenario 1, balanced game, few chances, score level until halftime. This is the ideal scenario to keep calm. If the defense is solid, the halftime message is simple. Keep going, the gap will appear. The change should only come in detail, bring on a fresh winger to attack the more tired fullback, or push the creative midfielder higher to press Everton's short build-up. Don't change out of desperation, change to strike at the right moment. Scenario 2, we concede an early goal. This is the emotional test. The fans complain, the players look down, but then the collective attitude must take over. No abandoning the plan. The adjustment is to push the supporting fullback higher, bring the playmaker closer to the striker, and accelerate switches of play. Forcing Everton to run side to side wears them down and opens space for the equalizer. Patience, the response goal may come from a well-rehearsed set piece or a 3-pass counterattack. Scenario 3, we go in front. Here comes the trap of fear. Defending the lead by dropping too deep is an invitation to suffer. The right adjustment is to shorten the lines, yes, but keep a real counter-attacking threat. If the opponent feels they can attack without punishment, they will crush us. So after the goal, the striker must not be isolated. He needs immediate support from a winger and the midfielder, so that each long ball has a chance of becoming a shot or a corner. Now signs that the plan is working. First sign, Everton start hoofing long balls because they can't find a clean build-up. Second sign, our attackers receive between the lines without needing to turn back to goal, showing their midfield is stretched. Third sign, defensive corners are cleared at the first contact with no dangerous rebounds. If these three appear, the strategy is alive. And warning signs? If their fullbacks are crossing freely, if our creative midfielder hasn't touched the ball for 5 straight minutes, and if their center backs are winning every physical duel against our striker, that means we need to change fast. And changing fast means altering roles, not just players bring a winger back to close the flank switch, the creator's position, or replace a heavy striker with a mobile one. Emotional reading is another chapter. The fans can feel when the team gives up. If they see players walking the whistles, come early. So the order is clear intensity until the end. Even if the score is against us, effort keeps the stadium alive and sometimes pushes the ball over the line. The worst scenario is not losing, it's losing without a fight. And then there is nothing left to hold on to. In the end, the message is this match is a thermometer. For Everton, it can consolidate their step up in quality. For us, it can be a turning point. If we fix the flaws, we show reaction. If we repeat the same mistakes, we deepen the crisis. Football rewards those who adjust quicker, those who read the moment, and those who do not hide. And I'll say it very directly, no matter the result, what cannot happen anymore is insisting on formulas that have already failed. The fans accept defeat if they see attempt courage and a plan. What they do not accept is complacency. That is the message that must echo from the dressing room to the pitch. And that's all for today's West Ham news. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with fellow fans, and of course subscribe to the channel so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Come on, you Irons.